Tired of space operas with magical tech and utopian futures? Leviathan Wakes delivers a gripping, scientifically plausible vision of humanity's first steps into the solar system. And it might just be the best sci-fi story you have not read yet. Leviathan Wakes is a science fiction novel by James S.A. Corey, the pen name of American authors Daniel Abraham and Ty Frank. First published in the year 2011, it spans 561 pages and marks the beginning of the acclaimed Expanse Series. It was soon followed by Caliban's War in 2012 and Abaddon's Gate in 2013. With 6 additional novels and a collection of short stories, further expanding the universe. The story is set in a future where humanity has colonized much of the solar system, made possible by the invention of the so-called Epstein drive, a fusion-powered engine capable of sustained acceleration. Though the name may seem unfortunate in hindsight. Earth, governed by the United Nations, and Mars, ruled by the Martian Congressional Republic, are rival superpowers locked in an uneasy alliance. Together they exert dominance over the peoples of the asteroid belt and beyond, known just as Belters. Belters live and work in stations built into the interiors of asteroids, carrying out the hazardous blue-collar labor that fuels the solar system's economy. Their bodies, adapted to low-gravity environments, are typically elongated and thin, a visible sign of their separation from the so-called inners of Earth and Mars. This marginalization has fostered resentment and resistance, coalescing in the Outer Planets Alliance, or OPA in short, a loosely connected network of militant groups that seeks to end the belt's exploitation. In response, the Inners have labeled the OPA a terrorist organization, intensifying the region's political and social tensions. Leviathan Wakes stands out for its solid adherence to scientific plausibility and technologically realistic descriptions of humanity's expansion into the solar system. There is no artificial gravity, except through rotating habitats or accelerating ships. There are no magical mass dampeners, meaning the maneuverability and acceleration of spacecraft are limited by the resilience of their crews, who can endure complex high-speed maneuvers only through specialized acceleration couches and pharmaceutical interventions. Space combat is grounded and tactical, relying on missiles, point defense turrets, pilot skill, and in close quarters, the firepower of guns and rifles. The world building is equally impressive. Corey constructs a believable solar system with various factions and interest groups vying for control and influence. Earth is overpopulated, mired in bureaucracy and inefficiency, at times corrupt, with slow decision-making. Mars enjoys a technological edge, but is constrained by a militaristic dogma and overall dependent on trade. The Belters are exploited, unorganized, yet indispensable to keeping everything running. While such detailed world-building is not unheard of in science fiction or fantasy, Leviathan Wakes matches the best of the genre, especially given its relatively moderate page count compared to the works of authors such as Peter F. Hamilton. In terms of originality, Leviathan Wakes succeeds not through grand, never-before-seen ideas, but through its competent and plausible realization of how a solar system-wide humanity might develop. Technological progress is believable, while factional competition and economic exploitation, unfortunately familiar human patterns, persist. This is also not groundbreaking per se, but most space opera either skips this stage of near-solar system expansion in favor of interstellar adventure, as in Peter F. Hamilton's Commonwealth Saga or Salvation Sequence, or in Alistair Reynolds' Revelation Space Universe. Or other works are focused narrowly on the first settlements beyond Earth, such as Kim Stanley Robinson's Mars Trilogy. In spirit, Robinson's work could even be imagined as a prequel to The Expanse. In a way, Leviathan Wakes delivers what I had hoped Robinson's 2312 would achieve, but ultimately did not. Another strength of the novel is its characters. The main cast and side characters offer a variety of perspectives, and even beyond this first book, the series features well-developed individuals with distinct motivations, complex pasts, and rich arcs of development. This depth is striking compared to most other science fiction series and is undoubtedly one of its strongest points. Critically, Leviathan Wakes was well received. It was nominated for the Hugo Award for Best Novel, the Locus Award for Best Science Fiction Novel, the Audie Award for Science Fiction, all in 2012, and the Goodreads Choice Award for Science Fiction in 2011. Although it did not win any of these awards, it holds a highly respectable 4.3 out of 5 stars among readers across aggregated reviews. As many will already know, the novel was adapted for television as The Expanse in 2015. The first season and a half are based directly on Leviathan Wakes. Of the show's 6 seasons, the first 3 were commissioned by Sci-Fi and aired between 2016 and 2018, while the final 3 were released on Amazon Prime Video. Although the television series concluded, it did not adapt the entirety of the book saga. Nevertheless, it remained remarkably faithful to the novels, especially in the early seasons, and stands as one of the most notable science fiction shows of the past decade. The plot of Leviathan Wakes begins with Jim Holden, the executive officer of an ice hauler running cargo from Saturn's rings to stations in the belt, when he and his crew encounter a derelict ship, the Scopuli. They find themselves in possession of a secret they never sought, one that someone is willing to kill for, on a scale Holden and his crew can scarcely fathom. A system-wide war looms unless they can uncover who left the ship and why. Meanwhile, Detective Miller is searching for a missing girl. In a system of billions, she seems insignificant, but her parents have money, and money talks. When his trail leads to the Scopuli and Holden, Miller realizes that this girl may be the key to everything. Together, Holden and Miller must navigate the dangerous currents of Earth's government, the Martian Navy, the outer planet revolutionaries, and secretive corporations. Out in the belt, the rules are different, and one small ship can change the fate of the universe. Overall, Leviathan Wakes launches one of the highlights of recent science fiction, both on the page and on the screen. It combines believable science and technology with a realistic depiction of humanity fractured into competing factions and governments, complete with corruption, clandestine operations, and economic exploitation, a setting often overlooked by more typical space opera that jumps straight to interstellar endeavors. Combined with its well-developed characters and noir thriller elements, it makes for a compelling read. If you are seeking a science fiction novel in a relatively underexplored setting, enriched with body horror and political intrigue, Leviathan Wakes is absolutely worth your time. If you liked this video, you may also enjoy the other reviews and content on my channel. Feel free to leave a comment if you want to discuss the novels or if you want to suggest other books that I should review in the future. Please consider upvoting and subscribing, it is much appreciated. Thank you for watching and until next time.